Why would I discourage you from getting into the hobby? Why would I discourage you from getting into the hobby? If you're brand new to the hobby, if you just heard about sports cards, whether you're 20, 30, 40 years old and you heard about the excitement and you're watching something and the sunlight's going to be a beast here. So forgive me. Anyway, we're outside. Why would I discourage you? Well, I think I would discourage you because I think the hobby is not as simple as people have told people it is. I think the hobby is very, very complicated. First of all, I think the hobby is also a misleading name for it because it's actually called the sports card business world. Whether you love it or not, that's what it is. It's a sports card business world. People who are in it, who make a living off it, are in it for business. There's those people who collect things, who like sports card, nostalgia, flashback, whatever it might be. They are collectors. And in between that, there's a whole lot of complication. And I think that's one reason I discourage people from getting into the hobby. Now, let me clarify this. I don't discourage people who are in the hobby from staying in the hobby. I'm not saying like, get out, man, this is terrible. If I meet people who are new collectors or people who are collecting in one area or the other, I love sharing information. I want to be a beacon, a light, a hobby advocate for them. But if you're a new friend or somebody who just asked me about it, I'm not going to tell you that it's all rainbows and unicorns. I'm just going to be honest. I'll give you two examples. One is my brother, who's younger than I am. He has small kids. He's very aware of my involvement in sports cards. Him and I used to collect cards as a kid. He's asked me, should I be getting in the hobby? I've told them, no, you don't have the time or energy or effort to research, to get involved in it. You have little kids who honestly have no interest in the hobby at this point. You'd be doing it because I told you to, and there's other things that you enjoy with your time that are a better hobby for you. Even the point where he's even said, he's a businessman. Hey, if I were going to invest in anything, I've said to him, look, I can tell you some products you could buy and sell and make money, but you're better off doing stocks. You're better off buying cryptocurrency, right? Something you can monitor, you can control. Do you really want to buy Prism and then be calling me and go, hey, do I sell the Prism now or do I hold the Prism? No, right? So it's not something you kind of want to half do. So I just wouldn't encourage somebody who doesn't have any interest. Now, if in a few years from now, his kids start collecting cards at school and they start bringing them home and he goes, hey, my son wants to buy a box of Prism. What do you think, Uncle Mike? I'm going to get involved. I'll tell them, I'll guide them. I'd suggest them, I'd warn them. Here's what you buy. Here's what you don't buy. Here's what graded is. Here's what's non-graded are, right? My point is I just don't feel myself. And I question people who say, oh, I just want to get more people in the hobby. Why do you want to get more people in the hobby? It's also expensive, right? If you're an older person who's come back to the hobby, I think first of all, you're going to have sticker shock going, what the hell for a box of what? I mean, there's some sticker shock. Now, if you're a new kid, maybe a millennial or younger, or whatever, maybe that sticker shock's not there. So, boy, this lighting is challenging. But hey, we're gonna press forward. Hey, it's just we'll call it the shadowy Ziggy. But if you're younger, again, I think it's a big commitment to buy a box of cards. I mean, I put it this way. I remember watching a video, I think it was Kenny, where he buys a box for like $1,000 and his girlfriend freaks out. I don't know many people, regardless of the lifestyle, if they didn't know what sports cards were, if they're not involved in sports cards, right? If it's I don't know, people you hang out with in your work, people through sports, whatever it is, if you told them you spent $1,000 in a box of Prism basketball cards, they would probably look at you like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why? Right? And then you might go explain that, well, you can get this one card here, one card goes for this much, and that card goes for that much, and this card goes for that. And I can say, oh, that's interesting. Should I buy boxes? I would again say, no. No. It's gambling, guys. Don't go a box because I'm telling you there's people got hundreds of $1,000s now. Right. So I don't think I'd introduce them to that. Now, what I introduced them to, hey, what are all those slabs on your desk over there, Ziggy? Oh, well, I buy and sell cards and I grade them and I watch the player perform and I sell them based on their performance. I wouldn't encourage that either, right? They're gonna look at me like, okay, that seems interesting, seems weird. Why don't you just buy stocks or something? It's just, I don't see why I would encourage somebody who knows nothing about the hobby to come into the hobby. Last thing I'll say is that, and again, I've been saying this for a while, there's snakes and there's wolves and there's pitfalls in the hobby, right? Last thing I want to do is be the guy who introduced a friend into the hobby and he calls it windows, man, I got a Michael Jordan card, turned out it was fake and I spent thousands of dollars on it. That would disappoint me, right? And I can't be there to guide everybody. I don't know all the answers to all the complications in the hobby, right? In fact, one of the reasons I'm the advocate that I think I am, or I want to be, is because I have sons who were very active in the hobby, and I wanted to make sure, you know, they weren't getting taken. Why the heck is the lighting so bad? Son, really? I take the hat off. Does that help a little bit? Anyway, then I look like a dork. So we're gonna go with the dark hat. So that's my thoughts on why I discourage people from getting into the hobby. What about you? Are you encouraging people? Are you recruiting people? Or are you out there going, hey man, join the hobby? It's a great place to be. And if so, I mean, there are great things about like it. One thing I'll say is if you're in it, it's great the people you can meet and you know the things you can learn. But again, I'm not. I would tell people to do other things before I'd say go, you know, do sports cards.